Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Dobyns Bennett Football, season 2013. Last Thursday evening, the Indians jumped on the Admiral Farragut's, opened the season with a win, 21-20. You know, Brother Man, we've been doing this show for about 13, 14 years, and it just sort of seems like these seasons roll around a little quicker, don't you think?
Yeah, they get here extremely quick nowadays, and, you know, with all the 7-on-7s and the camps and everything you do to get ready, it just passes by quick. I thought, you know, we could probably use about another month of practice, but man, our young puppies got out there and played hard, fought their hearts out. Young puppies make mistakes on the carpet sometimes, and we are young. I think Gerber's offered to feed us pregame meal, but we just fought our hearts out, and Farragut, give them credit too. They came back we jumped on them pretty good, 14-0, and some big plays in the game. You know, they flipped the field position on us with their outstanding punter.
Yeah.
And after scoring twice and getting them 3 and out again, you know, we start off on the -8-yard line and then start off on the -10-yard line the next two series, which kind of hampers your play calling a little bit. Made a lot of mistakes. Defense really held tough down inside the red zone more than once.
Several times they got down, like I say, got down in there, and they were 2 for 4 on their field goals, and that young man's a good field goal kicker, but fortunately there, right at the end of the game, fate wound up with the Indians.
I believe Eddie Durham from up above, him or Darrell Watson one, pushed that field goal to the right just a little bit.
Coach, that's one thing. Prior to the game, they always have a moment of silence, and one of the things they remembered 2 former coaches that were great Indians, Eddie Durham and Darrell Watson, that we've lost since last football season.
We've had the first time since I was 15 years old that Eddie wasn't either at the game or listening to it on the radio, but he had a good seat.
Yeah.
And the first time since from 1986 through 2010, of course, Darrell coached with us and did such a fabulous job with our defense. And I told somebody the other day, every now and then I really kind of need those guys to call after practice to remind me I can still coach a little bit. But, you know, miss having them out there, know I'll see them again. And you know, they have been such an important part of Dobyns Bennett for so long. So, like I said, yeah, Linda was the one that said she thought Eddie might have pushed that field goal to the right just a little bit.
Right. You know, the temperature, it wasn't really sweltering, but the humidity was hot, and it just seemed like it took a toll on a lot of players, both sides of the balls.
Yeah, it wasn't a dry heat.
What happened to our pickle juice?
We're still on the pickle juice.
Okay.
Main guys that cramped were guys that have missed some preseason because of injury and not able to get the maximum conditioning out. And again, you know, I mean, those guys that cramped are all guys that play so very hard.
Right.
And
plus a lot of them going both ways too.
Absolutely, the guys that cramped were going both ways.
Right.
With the exception of Palmer Begley, and Palmer's only had a week of practice, and he tore his ACL in wrestling, which I don't believe has happened since Johnny Weaver gave up the Kiwi roll. So, you know, they just haven't had the time to condition that they've needed.
Yeah.
But, well, they fought their hearts out. Great opening night crowd.
Was a good crowd, crowd. The band sounded great, and we're going to talk about them here in a little bit. Coach, let's go ahead and roll the first half highlights here and see what we got going here.
Opening kickoff 2013.
And remind me to ask you a question about that in a minute.
Farragut's excellent kicker, Kason Bird, out for the first time in a couple of years, takes that Tyler Norris with a pancake block right there. We end up being 1 block away from breaking that thing. Tremendously exciting start. First play of the season. Elijah Dunn's going to run for 8 yards. Excellent block. What's number 62, the left tackle? And then Zach Casey with the lead block on the linebacker. 2 outstanding blocks.
Jason Ring, good job.
Jason Ring driving that big defensive end. And, you know, we come back the very next play, and we get blocks to a touchdown by Tyler Norris, Blake Ruth, Elijah Dunn, and watch Dakota Davis downfield shield off 2 of them. Love the way our quarterbacks are carrying out their fakes. Elijah got a good little block right there. Josh froze one guy on the backside. Zach Casey totes the mail in from about 54 yards. Landon Salyers added our sophomore field goal and place kicker. Hit the extra point to make it 7-0. We start the thing out. Let's see, I believe this is Eddie Swerko, our right defensive tackle, and Josh Holt on this tackle. We miss him there at the line. Hold him to a 2-yard gain. Look at the size of that front line for Farragut. And unbelievably, and we'll talk about it later, the size of East Hamilton's is even bigger. This is a little deal, you know, I've seen some people do this where nobody goes, but the center snapping the ball, they stay in their stance. Michael White gets some pressure on him, and Caleb Cook gets the first interception of the year. So we're down there in the red zone again. We have a 3rd down and 3 right here. Josh Holt's first pass completion of the year to Zach Casey out in the flat.
Like seeing Josh looking out in the flat, not worrying about going downfield. Just get out there and get somebody to make that first down.
Get it out there, like for him to get it to him just a little bit quicker. Anyway, we had a couple of penalties here. Knocked us back to a 4th down and 15. And
this is gonna be
really good route by Caleb. The free safety flattened out a little bit. They're in too deep here. You can't see that on the screen. But a really good route. The free safety flattened just a little bit, and he took it right over top of him, and what a catch. Wow.
Run that back here one more time.
Josh stands in the pocket good and delivers. Get a little pressure from the nose man. See, he adjusts to his left just a little bit, and Caleb Cook.
Great.
I told his mama after the game, I said, yeah, when it gets hot in the kitchen, you got to find a cook.
That's exactly right.
And
14-0, Landon Salyers adds the extra point again. One of the things I mentioned there, talked about earlier on, his first kickoff, he put it in the end zone, and which that's good for a sophomore kicker right there.
Absolutely. He's going to be a dandy. This is going to be our defense, a stop for a no-yard game. We got Alex Keller in at linebacker. Nice job breaking down his feet. Caleb Cook, Colt Ketron coming up to finish it off. 3rd down and 2 for Farragut. And, well, this is the hit of the night, I thought. Colton Ketron, tackle for a loss.
This was the hit on Friday Night Lights, too.
And it's a good one.
Yeah.
Colton, this is the first time he's been healthy in a year, and he'll end up playing some offense, too. They flip the field, and they get the football back. They got it, gained 6 on 1st down, and they're going to throw the cheese 2 straight. Going downfield trying to hit the wide receiver. This is nice coverage by Josh Holt. Getting right in the guy's hip pocket and almost makes the interception.
Yeah, sure did. Flipped it again there, I guess.
Flipped it again on us.
That's one of the things I think I'm sure y'all probably have a lot of work on this coming week. We're working on building them punts.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we're going to do a better job with that. 3rd down and 9. Nice pickup by Elijah Dunn. Good little lead block. Elijah's a sophomore running back for us.
I was going to say, a lot of these names we're hearing right now are names we ain't heard in a lot, hadn't heard before. Yeah. So, like you was talking about them little pups on messing on the carpet. 2nd
down and 14 after a 5-yard penalty. No, it wasn't after a 5-yard penalty. They threw us for a 4-yard loss. Zach Casey for 13. Good blocks up front by our 2 guards, Blake Ruth, Taylor Hunt, and Austin Hayworth at center. Farragut had scored here, I believe, and it was already 14-7. And we turned the football over at the 17-yard line. It's 3rd down and 2, and Eddie Swerko from the backside. Look at him rake that football out.
Yes.
Show that one more time. Now, you got to rake that football. You got to make things happen. And Eddie's hustling from the backside of the play.
Ford, he was a big, tough running back.
Yeah, well, he's normally a tight end, but they used him in some power formations. And Jeremiah Sokol playing his first varsity football game as a senior. playing his first football game in about 3 years as a senior. It's kind of like I said, even our old guys are young. Farragut scored to get to 14-14 at halftime. We come out here and get the ball off the goal line on a quarterback sneak, and then have another turnover. And we go into halftime at 14-14 as they score off of that turnover.
You know what? That's like I said, you got a lot of things. One question: I've watched you do a lot of football games. We won the toss, and you elected to go on offense.
Absolutely.
Which is a little bit different than what has been done in the past.
You didn't pay much attention last year.
Didn't
Because
I?
we elected to go on offense about all the time last year, too.
Okay.
We wanted that football to set the daggone tempo, you know, we thought we had a chance to get some movement against
And we
them.
did.
And we did.
Yes, we did.
And, you know, I don't mind taking that football first, you know, especially if you think you got a chance to get some field position on the kickoff return,
Okay.
which we did out to the 38-yard line.
Great. As we are at halftime, we'd like to thank the good people that bring you Dobbins Bennett football with Coach Graham Clark. This year on the bandwagon is Mr. Brian Hayworth and the good folks at Hayworth Tires out on East Stone Drive. Go out and see them. The good folks from Appalachian Orthopedics. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you go see them because you might be hurt sometimes, but we really appreciate Dr. Pat Riggins and other doctors with that group, Dr. Jeff France, people that I know, as they come out and give their time on Friday nights working with the football teams. The other people that are help bringing this is my big buddy Bobby Dingus at BB&T KDC Insurance. So if you see any of these folks out, thank them for bringing them Dobbins Bennett football, because without them we couldn't be doing this. Halftime came around, Coach, and the band this year, 400 strong, I understand, and they did a show on the Blues Brothers. And I thought you might have just, if it hadn't been so daggone tight right there, you might have left Coach Christian in there to go through it and come out and done a little bit of that Minnie the Moocher.
After they scored 14 to tie it up, I thought I better stay around.
Stick around.
I did get to hear them on the practice field one day doing Minnie the Moocher and doing their sing-along. And Mr. Cook said the other night, said, now we need to get a little bit more audience participation on that thing next home game. So folks up in the stands, you got to clear it out and get ready to sing a little bit.
At the halftime, also there was the chairman of the Rose Bowl who was there to help them with their gala on Friday night and raising money to send the band students to the Rose Bowl this year. And I think there's 8 bands or maybe 20 bands.
I believe they said 12 at the gala the other night.
12 bands that are honored, and Dobbins Bennett is one of 12 that's pretty daggone good.
Pretty special, and they're a pretty special group. Outstanding band. They did a nice job at their gala Friday night as a fundraiser. They had a good band. Had my dancing shoes on a little bit.
Yeah, wearing that shoe leather.
Got that shoe leather going, and nice crowd, some wonderful dance partners that I appreciated very much. And I got a chance to talk to the president of the Rose Bowl committee there, and he was talking about the ball game, and we talked about 5 or 6 minutes, and he came back a few minutes later. He said, hey, I didn't know you were the coach. So thank goodness he was complimentary, and got a chance to meet his wife, and it was just a really festive evening, especially after a great festive Thursday night football.
Exactly. Tell us a little bit what we got on the agenda this year for our JV and freshman schedules.
The JV and freshmen will play Science Hill
this week.
Obviously, Farragut's not coming back for a JV game or a freshman game, so we will be playing Science Hill twice, once here at the first of the year and once about midway through. Science Hill JV game will be on the road Monday, and the freshman game will be at J. Fred Johnson. I believe I've got that right. We've got a 9-game freshman schedule, 8-game JV schedule, still looking for 1 game, had a cancellation already. So if anybody out there is going to put a team together September 23rd, we could use a JV game.
Not a fantasy team. 323 yards on offense, I believe, is what we had.
Yes.
And we gave up like 292. 292. Anytime we're over 300, that's a good mark for us. Is that?
We think so. And probably the first time in about, maybe 5 or 6 years that we threw for more yards than we rushed for. Threw for 170.
177.
177, and I rushed about 142. Of course, in the second half, we went 2-minute offense right there at the end, and they were, pressing us pretty much there with the run game, sending a lot of linebackers. I felt like we had to loosen them up a little bit, but we were overall, I think, 9 for 20 throwing. Okay. Josh Holt was 7 for 14, and Skylar East was 2 for 6. And two huge ones that he completed.
You had mentioned that you wanted to use both quarterbacks this year, and you got that opportunity.
Well, Josh plays every snap for us at defensive back.
Right.
He's our free safety. He's the only returning starter in the secondary. Now, Sam Stewart started a couple of games in the secondary, but, he just can't go the whole way every snap without getting some rest. We have a great deal of confidence in Skylar.
Yeah, Skylar made, like you said, made a couple of big throws. We'll see them here, I believe, in the second half. Let's go ahead and roll this right here, Coach.
They start the second half off with a 60-yard kickoff return, and they drive down to the 9-yard line. 3rd down and 10.
Remember, here we're 14-14.
And a huge, amazing play. That's why he's playing defense. Exactly. Josh Holt on the screen pass, and I believe this was the first field goal they missed. Big 3rd down conversion here, Holt to Cook. We had a couple of first downs. This was the drive that Josh cramped on, but this is a huge conversion, hitting that thing right in the hole there, in between the two safeties, and Caleb with another catch. He had 3 for the night for, I think, about 111 yards. We end up going down and getting a high snap on a field goal. Miss an opportunity there. Back on defense, Trey Trammell, number 7, from his linebacker position.
Trey's a young man that got hurt last year.
And a big tackle for a loss by Trey. Man, he was so excited to be playing again.
Like I said, he's a senior, I believe, isn't he?
He is a senior.
Like I said, but he didn't get to play last year. He would have played a lot last year.
And was a safety as a sophomore.
Yeah. So he's just now getting his whistle wet on as linebacker.
Here we get a little pressure. We get a sack on a sprint out here. Michael White and freshman Jacob Roller, who played almost the entire game at noseman. Farragut got some push on us at times. Our defense stiffened up. Amazing with their size, how well our defense played. Great plan by our defensive coaches led by Jesse McMillan. This is Newly Burton on a little cutback for a 2-yard gain. And here they are, back down in the red zone. 1st down and 10. Knocking on the door. 16-yard line. Somebody's got to make a play. And it's going to be Trey Trammell and Zach Casey. Man, how'd they get that thing? And Michael White for a loss of 5. They had 2 fumbles like that. They dropped one on a punt that rolled kind of right back to the young man. 2nd down and 15. Jacob Roller, I believe, from the noseman position. Let me say this again. Freshman.
We'll say his name a few
Tackle
times.
for a loss. Colton Ketron kind of flushes him out of the pocket. We hold him to a field goal. Offense goes 3 and out. And Farragut's back down on the goal line. Knocking on the door again.
This is when they were up 17-14, right?
17-14. Yeah. It's a nice play. Watch Caleb Cook fight off this block. Make a tackle. Kept the daggone clock running right there. The guy just about dove out of bounds. Almost took out some of those youngins' knees over there.
We're going to have to talk that clock off.
We're going to hold them. We're going to hold them. We had to use 2 timeouts. Somebody asked me, said, why did you use your 2 timeouts? Great pass breakup. Trey Trammell, Zach Casey, and Who else was in on that thing? Somebody else. Caleb Cook.
Yeah.
All right, so 20-14, we held them to field goal. 2-minute offense. Skylar East at quarterback. Gets flushed out of the pocket. Keeps his eyes down the field. Throws it back across. This was a 3rd and 15 pickup to DJ Jones. DJ had 3 catches on the night. Skylar, I believe he's out right now. Yeah, his helmet came off. Had to come out of the game. Josh Holt throws a strike. Caleb Cook, don't know how in the world he came out of that. I don't know how they missed me sprinting down the sideline right there. I think I pulled a muscle. Show that one more time. And I'll tell you something else I want you to see. Watch Josh Holt stand in the pocket here with people running at him. Throws the ball over the linebackers' heads. You know, nice drop by their linebackers.
Only place it can be thrown.
And an outstanding ball. Caleb Cook gets that thing in the end zone. Landon Sayers hits the extra point. A lot of excitement on the sideline. I thought our youngins did a great job of staying on the sideline right there. 32 seconds left, and they complete 4 balls in the last 32 seconds and miss a field goal as time expires. Got a chance to talk to the young man, the kicker from Farragut, after the game, and told him he's going to win a lot of football games for them.
Fine.
He's a sophomore kicker, just barely pushed it to the right. They did a fabulous job of coming back in the last 32 seconds. We did not do a good job of tackling them and keeping them in bounds.
Right, yeah.
And so they were able to get the clock stopped a couple of times there. You know, when we'd like for them to use the timeout or two.
21-20, Indian victory. Coach, this week, as you say, it doesn't get a whole lot easier. We're going down to Chattanooga way to East Hamilton High School, who won this past Friday night over Signal Mountain 14-12.
14-12, 3-hour lightning delay.
Oh my goodness.
3-hour lightning delay. And Coach Gatewood, bless his heart, to his credit, during the lightning delay, texted me because we were supposed to make a film swap over the internet about 10 o'clock, and he said, Coach, it's going to be late. You know, it's going to be late.
So where were they playing?
They played at Signal Mountain.
Signal Mountain, okay.
And it came down to last play of the game. Well, it was not the last play of the game. Trey Herndon, Vanderbilt commitment, cornerback. Signal Mountain lined up to kick a field goal with about 30 seconds left. It was a 37-yarder, and Trey Herndon came off the edge and blocked it.
Wow.
East Hamilton had been up 14-0. Signal Mountain scored twice, went for 2 both times.
Okay.
Did not make either one of them. And then at 14-12, they got the football back and drove down 2 teams that are both unbelievably big. Like I said, not only the linemen, I think they start one that's 350 pounds, one that's 325 pounds. Cordell Sands, who plays noseman for him, interestingly enough, I coached his father in an all-star game in 1997. And he's a prospect. Austin Gatewood, player of the year in their conference last year at outside linebacker, Coach Gatewood's son. Bailey Lenore, tight end, big tight end that is an outstanding player for him that I know is being recruited.
The one prospect.
Quarterback has committed to Central Arkansas, FBS level of football. So they're a very talented football team. They're a very big football team. Signal Mountain is a wing T team, and they controlled the football much of the game. They have I guarantee you Signal Mountain's fullback is 250 pounds. And they just hammered him up in there time and time again. It's a very talented East Hamilton football team. Once again, second week in a row, a punter that kills the ball. We've seen him hit 50-yard punts.
Farragut's punter, although if we'd have filled it, we might have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But he averaged 56 yards per punt, so,
Yeah.
so he hits it pretty good.
So we see another one that just kicks the daylights out of it, and we'll be on the road, and that's super. I mean, we sign up to play these teams because they're outstanding football teams. East Hamilton was in the quarterfinals last year
Right.
of the state playoffs.
No more Jellicos.
No, can't
No,
get them.
can't get
Can't
Jellicos.
find them. No.
Well, I know the DB fans will travel good. It's about a 3-hour trip. I looked it up on Google Maps. It's about a 3-hour trip down the road, and the DB fans always travel good. I know a lot of people are going down on Friday night, coming back and stopping off in Knoxville for the UT game on Saturday. So we do want to remind you the Dobbins Bennett Quarterback Club meets every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. I'm sure they had a great fundraising event this weekend at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's in the community room at the field house.
At the field house.
Second level. Go up the steps, and you're right there at the community room.
Come out and enjoy some camaraderie with all the parents and the Dobbins Bennett fans. They'll be running the film, and then they honor the players. Again, we'd like to thank the good folks from Hayworth Tires, Appalachian Orthopedics, and BB&T KDC Insurance Services for bringing you this show. Coach, I guess till next week, whenever we talk about East Hamilton, let's roll Tribe, get down 75, and get after them East Hamilton boys.
Looking forward to an opportunity to play another outstanding football team and see how our young men continue to fight. They're a pleasure to be around. They just played so hard Friday night. Very proud of them.
Roll Tribe.
Roll Tribe.
See you next week.